Hello, guys, and welcome to my very first sketchbook tour that I have filmed and recorded. So I apologize for the little nervousness and the audio quality of this voiceover. And, well, may I introduce you to my sketchbook, which had been my companion for 4 years and which I had taken with me to almost everywhere, at work, to the cafe, to, well, yeah, everywhere I went, I took this big boy with me. So let's open it up and start this. So as you can see, it took me 4 years to finish the sketchbook. Started in 2019 and finished in 2023, and it was my first A4 sketchbook I had started at that time. So what I like to do with the first page is to make a little swatch sheet to see how my media behaves on the paper. So as you can see, I used watercolor there. I used gouache. I just dragged the paint to see how much pigment sinks in and how ink brushes work, if pens bleed out and everything. It just helps me to determine how the paper works and how much I can push it, basically. So it's a Hanemühle bamboo sketchbook, if you're curious. And I really like the paper because it's for dry media, but the wet media also worked really well for me, at least. It just takes some time to tinker around it. So yeah, let's get to the artworks. This is actually my absolute favorite page of all time, because I just went straight into it. I didn't think much about it. I started with inks. I did this center illustration with watercolor where I just saw a pretty Pinterest picture of a forest with these kind of reddish bark, and just the color scheme was speaking to me, and I think it really centers the piece and brings it together as a whole. And yeah, it's mostly a page about my OC Kain, whom you will see a lot in this sketchbook. And this is his boyfriend Yuri, an OC from a very close friend of mine. And yeah. Here I tried kind of to recreate the magic of the first page, but I didn't succeed, and I was also very frustrated with this one, to be very honest with you. And did some concept illustrations for role play group, and few pencil sketches, bit of ink, and ballpoint, and then I did not like the ballpoint sketches and went over it with ink again and some gouache, as you can see, and kind of tried to bring it together, but yeah, it just didn't work out, and I decided that not every page needs to be as perfect as the first one I did at that time. Oh, sorry. Well, yeah. I think I was still talking about something, but since I'm doing a voiceover, I'm not entirely sure what I was saying. And I am also a little bit nervous, to be honest, that I just keep making this voiceover. And moving on, I scribbled away, this time with another OC of mine. And this one is a very interesting one for me, because an art mutual did some art supply OCs, and I found this concept very interesting. So I made one of my luminous, or was it phosphorescent? I think it was phosphorescent. Phosphorescent inks. I think I used it for the hair, so the hair actually glows, or should glow. I haven't tested it out, but yeah. Here we have my Pokemon OC. It's Vincent, my Flygon, and I was again browsing through Pinterest and saw these very pretty and intriguing wedding attires, but I cannot remember if it was Indian or Persian attire. I just remember that it was gold and the drapery was kind of reddish, I think. But yeah, I loved it the first time I saw it, and just needed to sketch it. And here we have a little exercise. I watched I think it was Cynic's video about how to draw faces from every angle. And I tried this paper sheet method, and I'm not much a practice person or extensive practice person, so I just wanted to change it with that, and used the tutorial to do a 100 hats challenge, and just to get it into my system and to memorize it properly. And yeah, right side with graphite, left side with ballpoint, so that it doesn't smudge over as much. And as you can see, I didn't stick through, sadly. I think I just made 50 hats, I think. And then I just lost interest in it and didn't want to continue on the page. So I just glued in artwork I had lying around from my loose paper sheets. And some I may want to repaint or redraw because the paper was faulty or something didn't work out, but I just do not want to lose the drawings or sketches, so I just glue them in wherever I have space. So you will see that also more often in this sketchbook. And yeah, as you can see, I'm pointing out the faults in the paper. It was an Etcher sketchbook and the sizing was off, so the paint behaved really weirdly, and I had to toss the sketchbook, sadly, because nothing worked in it, and I just hated opening this sketchbook, which was very sad because I spent a lot of money on it, but yeah. But I want to repaint it on proper functional paper, so yeah. I hopefully I will remember it now that I look at it, because I had forgotten about it. But yeah, it's my witch OC Niall. He's a craftsman and he makes magical objects. So I made him, or I wanted to give him kind of a smith attire and with his familiar, and yeah. So this is a page which I also call the unmotivated pages, where I just doodled away and glued in some other pieces of artwork, but it's not as crowded, or it's more spacious and has more holes or blank spaces than I usually would leave. But yeah, some pretty poses I saw on Instagram from a photographer, some lyrics, some OC work, and I really love gold paint. So you will also see more gold paint use here and there, because I just love it when something sparkles in my artwork when I tilt the pages or the paper. And yeah, not very liking the page, but it is what it is, and it's my sketchbook, so it has a right to exist in there. A page that is more crowded and more used than the previous one, but I still wasn't there, and just doodled away. saw some outfits on Pinterest and did some tests with new paints I got. I think it is the Boku Undo set from Kuretake. And the not motivation or the not very motivated pages go on. So just ballpoint and some fountain pen doodles. I did not much coloring, just for the sake of keeping the hand going. A bit of story from my OC. So right side is Ishmael or Izzy, and left side is Nikki. Hourly comic and a test or a pre-sketch I did for tracing over to watercolor paper. I actually made an ink wash illustration out of that one and glued it into or on top of a page where I tested Posca markers out, and the paper doesn't like Posca markers. It did not work out and it looked horrid. So I just had to glue it over because it really didn't work out. But that's what my scrap sheets or scrap sketches, paintings are there for. Here I did some... Oh yeah, I was doing a Q&A on Instagram, I think, or was it Tumblr? I do not remember, but it was about my OCs and about me, so I just doodled the answers to the questions. And another ballpoint snippet, I think I was drawing at work during a call and glued in. So, yeah, my OC Izzy, some role play events I doodled out. And as you can see on the left side, I did glue in a comic page I did because it was a really fun event. Let me tell you about it. So we had this event going where we had a map, and it was kind of like Minesweeper. So you could move to core or to assigned spaces. You could move 1 or 2 or 3 steps, and when you got into a trap, you had to draw your way out of it. So my OC got into a trap, so I had to get them out to actually continue to move forward. So yeah, it was a really fun event, and I still think fondly of it because it was so much fun. I drew so much art for it, and it helped my OC to grow a little. And yeah, in the back I did some OC concepts I will still work on, because I am not satisfied with the first design yet, but it has potential, what I have in my head. And here are some more outfits I quickly doodled, and some gouache. This was actually, I think, my first proper gouache test, and on the following page I never finished it. But that's also what sketchbooks are there for, because the first panel was with Winsor and Newton Designers gouache, and the second was with the Hemi gouache, and I was kind of testing which application I liked more. And yeah, so lyrics, I think it is from Of Monsters and Men. Yeah, I think it's from Of Monsters and Men. And well, I like the Winsor Newton application more. And still need to get a hang of the Hemis. But yeah, another just keep the hand going page, colored pencil, fountain pen, some OC stories, just bodies I doodled mindlessly. The whole page is full of it, even though it's very light. Hands, heads, just some wrist exercises I like to do, just to keep the motion going. And yeah, I think it's very helpful to just do that and not think about everything way too much. And That's why these pages also stay in my sketchbook, because they are also part of of the draw journey, I should say, or I think. Oh yeah, here I think I was talking about how I had some troubles with faces, and then I just saw how people stuck post-its over it and just drew it. So I also did that here, and I think it has its charm somehow to just use a post-it. And here we have a page I really did not like, but again, the painting scraps to the rescue, and I kind of tried to make it look scrapbook-like. I don't know if I succeeded, but yeah, just glued it over top my OC Kine, and this is my OC Vincent, and here you can see the art supply OCs, my ink, and my ink brush wielder. For another event, I kind of wanted to do another comic page and tackle my arch enemy perspective, and it never went past the concept and the colors I used here. But yeah, I really need to dive into it more to just do the buildings and everything. But my eyes get very confused if I have too many lines or too many directional lines, and then I just forget where my actual draw lines are. And here you can see my it's my OC Nikolai, and a anthro version of my OC Kine, in which I doodled a lion's head without a reference, and it did haunt me for a little, because I really did not like it how I doodled that, and that I just went without a properly knowing how a lion's head looks like. So yeah, not my proudest moment, but I will redeem myself. In the next few pages, I think. Yes. But yeah, I think here I was also talking about what I just said. I just forgot about the pacing of my words entirely. So yeah, next page we have Nikolai, and I kind of rediscovered my watercolors again, then a little marker experiment, but I really do not like to use markers at all. I just don't like the handling, and here we have my redemption arc of the lion's head. I looked at a proper reference and also at a paw reference, and then just did it again and redid it, and this time with a reference, and I'm in so much love with this piece that I actually traced it on baking paper or parchment paper. I think parchment paper is the word, and so I can trace it onto watercolor paper and then do a watercolor painting of it. And then some paintings of Izzy and a flower I just saw on a balcony, I think. And here I wanted to do a companion piece to the lion and make a canine illustration, and completely forgot that in which direction the head was showing, because I actually wanted to make it mirrored. Oh, sorry. wanted to make it mirrored and forgot about it. And here we have the unmotivated page era again. Ballpoint doodles. I really like red ballpoint pens. And this one is a big ballpoint, but the fine one. Not the regular ones, but the fine series. I think it has 0.3 millimeters, and I just really like how fine the lines are in this one. And another loose page to the rescue for a doodle I did of the two animal illustrations of my OCs, or the animal-like illustrations, and I really did not I forgot the words for it. I'm sorry, English is not my first language, but I tried to draw snarling and open mouths and jaws, and it did not work out. So, yeah, more doodles. I went to a dog park with our dog and tried to capture just the proportions or the bodies of the dogs that were running around and digging and just looking at their owners, and some of the owners were lying around on the beach. So I just captured the basic shapes. That's it about this page. Again, one of the last marker illustrations you will see in there, I think. And otherwise, it was graphite only first, and then I was at the cafe waiting for my mom and decided to just color the pages because I wasn't motivated to draw, but I wanted to paint. So I just took what I had already there and just painted over it and colored it. And it's mostly my Aussie Izzy again from the event. And it was very emotional. it was very emotional, yeah. More graphite sketches. My OC Lucas in a fairy universe or alternate universe, and I still need to get by the dragon design. I kind of wanted to make a withering shroom dragon with a veil over its head. That's also covered by the roots of the shrooms and everything. And my my animal skills, or my fantasy animal skills, are not that great yet. But I will get to it. I will practice, and then I can draw out what's in my head for this design. Some anthro versions of my OC Izzy and their childhood friend, and another piece I had lying around and glued in, ballpoint, and just some designs for Izzy, clothes, events. The dresses are inspired by Dirndl. And it was a event where we had like 3 phases. So the first phase was the fire and the burning phase. Second was ashes. And then we had the resurrection, where they wore white dresses entirely. And yeah. And here we have a redesign for their regular clothes. And since they are a paramedic in this universe, or a medic, I was inspired by just the work attire for paramedics, and tried to implement that in some code-like designs. Yeah, I think it was White Knights. I only have dioxazine purple in White Knights. And here we have it. My Naruto face. So now and then I keep remembering that I was a huge Naruto fan, and it kind of shaped my art and how I approach poses. And now and then I remember my OCs from my teen days, and then I just draw extensively and excessively, you could say, and just doodle away what's in my head, little stories, little snippets. And I made her, she's my main OC, and I made her Kakashi's sister, basically lost sister, and so I could draw ship art. I made a boyfriend for her so I could draw them together, and I just have so much fun whenever I draw or doodle them, because it just keeps reminding me of my days back when I was in my room with 14 and had these large paper sheets and just doodled away. I think it was A3 paper sheets, and just doodled away, back and front of the paper, made up whole stories, had a band, alternate universe and everything for them. So it's just a fun time whenever I I go back to them, and I just really like it. It's just just such a fun memory, and how dear the Naruto universe actually is to me, as weird as it sounds, because I just absolutely fell in love with with how simple the illustrations look, but how complicated the poses are. And even though it's just black and white with no real or with no gray shades in between, you still can tell apart that there is perspective, that there is I think you know what I mean. I can't really express it in English, but these dynamic poses stay dynamic, and it just fascinates me. I think this was the end of the Naruto phase. And then I went back to my OC Izzy, but this time as a sea witch, half siren, and I tried to do some negative painting, but it's not my strong point to do negatives with a black space first and then go over it with a white ballpoint or white pencil or anything. I tried, as you can see, but I don't know how to approach it yet. Maybe I should give it another try someone else. But I just really like the ink brush and the texture ink brushes make when you make the paint strokes a little faster, so it has this dry brushing effect. I really like that. I could fill out a whole page just with that. So another fun mixed media page, ballpoint glued in there from work, I guess, because most ballpoint works are from my office doodles when I take calls. And I think this is also marker. We have another marker page. And my engineer OC Nikolai, in his work attire, or it was a sci-fi setting he was in, and they had this nice iridescent sheen. Some beans, because I like to draw myself as a bean, and maybe I'll make stickers out of it. But just a fun little page. Here is a OC or a tree nymph. I got permission to do my own from the original creator of said nymphs, and I approached it with a my phone's going off. Approached it with a inspiration from a, oh god, don't make me say it, squirrel, squirrel, Eichhörnchen, you know, with their funky little feet. Yeah, my twin Aussies, Kain and Abel, and some more watercolor practice with different watercolor brands, more of my Aussie Nikolai. And here I picked up on watercolors quite a lot again. Outfit designs for Kain, some background stories, some concepts. And it was graphite only first, and then I went over it quickly with watercolor. Yeah, he is a nightmare, so he can slip into dreams with these cat-like or with these cat skulls, and then he has this lion nightmare version of himself he appears as in this dream, and I just noted down the whole concept and glued it in. More backstory of Kain, and just a little present Kain and Yuri doodle where they are bickering, some ink work of his little investigation squad and with whom he works together. Yeah. Oh yeah, the next one. The next one will be also one of my favorites. Here we go entirely watercolor, and it took me a few days to paint this out, and I just used each little space nook that was available to me, and I just had so much fun painting all of this. And I especially the little eldritch form you can see of Yuri, I had so much fun to do it. And the one where they are snuggling is also one of my favorite little illustrations I made because it just looks so soft. Mermaid, a Kain version, and I am a huge fan of the Grishaverse, actually. I really like the Grishaverse, and when Shadow and Bone, along with Six of Crows, aired, I had to just doodle my versions of the few Grishas that exist. So we have a Heartrender, we have a Squaller, we have a Fabricator, and a Tide Maker, and yeah, I just was playing around with different skin tones and how to design the attire for said Grishas. I just had fun for it. I took inspiration from Slavic folk wear and yeah, the patterns. More Kain. And my trainer OC Henry, I just like to play as Henry in my Pokemon games and explore the world with him and his party basically I made throughout the whole games. And yeah, Corviknight is a really cool design for a Pokemon. I just really love it. And I just had to draw it. And on the Kain page, I made the softest blush shading ever known to man. And I do not know how I did that. I will never be able to replicate. A little unfinished, but that's also the charm of a sketchbook. my OC Ross, a Winter King fairy, and a redesign for my Paradise Griffin, inspired by, I think they are called bee-eater birds. They are linked to eating wasps, that I know, and they are so colorful, and I just wanted to give Rangi my this color scheme. I think, oh yeah, I got new paints in this one, and tried to do a limited color palette here. So I think it was Roman Schmoll paints, and I just did different illustrations, paired two paints together, and then painted away. And my favorites are actually the top two here, you can see, because I think those are the color combinations that, strike me the most. Another rather unmotivated page of my OC Ross in his winter solstice, you know what I mean, in his form, and just some doodles. And here I tried to make plans for an illustration, and I'm not very good at drawing static poses. And here you can see my dear friend's bird. When my friend sees my sketchbook, I will find a bird in there, because she always doodles birds somewhere. And gave up on the static poses, then just doodled without a plan and did this, and I really loved this pose and his hands and everything about this, and I do not like the top. Oh no, Naruto came back. So here we have colored pieces of my two OCs, and so doodles away. More Naruto. This time not as excessively as the first time. And here I did a little exercise where I explored underpaintings. So I used orange and perylene green here, and then recreated the first illustration I did there with the Codmans. So first is the professional paint, second is the Codmans, where I tried to be as close as possible color-wise. My OC Niall, the witch, and where I just used leftover paint as underpainting and just experimented around. I think it was some sort of cobalt green there. And this one is an illustration I did in a group, and this is a closed species from a art mutual who kindly invited me to that server, and I asked if I could draw a OC or a Nepnom, and this one especially intrigued me because they have a holy and a cursed part, and I tried to do some sort of transition. And I just had so much fun painting the wing position and the transition from the holy side to the more cursed side. Yeah, Pokemon. I really love this game, okay? I love Legends. I love Adamant. I love the concept. I know the game looks like whack, but I just can't help loving it because it was just the first game with a different mechanic, and you could collect stuff and everything attacked you, and what have I done to you, cutie fly? Oh yeah. I read The Witcher, and since then I am lost to The Witcher. I got the primary set of the Holbein gouache and did the left illustration only with them. As you can see, I did a little swatch test how I could use the colors, and then I just practiced away, and this one I did on proper watercolor paper and then glued it in so it would be there where the Witcher page is. And it's just such a ride. I read the books, or all books, in a few months, and then started playing Witcher 3 right away, and since then I am just lost. I love Geralt so much. I love Yennefer. I love Ciri. I love Dandelion. I just love the whole universe. What can I say? I am a huge fan. So of course, I had to put Kain in there as a cat witcher, and gave him a different set of tattoos, and met some kind Witcher fans who also made Witcher OCs. Another loose page, or this is a blank page I had, but I was very unmotivated that day. I did these art fight illustrations and then had this watercolor illustration of Niall lying around, and then just glued it in and put these washi tape pieces around it that just don't want to stick anymore. And yeah. Pokemon. Watercolor exercises with Henry, and it's a mixture out of Codman and professional watercolor paints, but mainly it's Codman. And just him and his party Pokemon, his shiny Gengar. I just had so much fun doodling this page. And on top we have his sister I made with her party and the little cube bone she keeps taking care of. So here we have some concepts, and this is a concept for another Pokemon OC. And I don't really like these sketches because they are very static, and the illustration I did is a little bit more dynamic and fluid, in my opinion. But it was just to determine where I wanted to go with the clothes and with the onioning, I would say. And another concept for Kain in his Witcher uniform, but I still haven't decided on the colors, so it's still a work in progress. I have traced it onto watercolor paper, but haven't gotten into finishing it yet. So here we have an illustration with color shifting paint. I tried to show it, but I don't think it shows it very well on camera. But the paints shift. This paint in the background shifts from purple to green. So it goes purple, magenta, teal, and then to green. But sadly I can't really show it here. It's for a roleplay group again. And we had a fun little event where my cat had to collect cats. So we rolled a number, and then I had a number of cat Pokemon I had to collect, and then I had to draw it. A little armor practice I did for my OC Arbiel. He's one of my oldest OCs, and I had a knight, or I still have a knight universe or alternate universe with a friend. And Henry on the next page. Little showcase. And another unmotivated page. I found a purple ballpoint pen, and my life has never been the same. It's a little it's medium in size, so it makes a little thicker lines than the fine big points, but I love the color. I just love the color, and then the doodles just come. So just concepts, swatches, coloring tests. And then comes the day I stopped being an OC artist because Trigon Stampede aired. I think this is a homage to the very first four, I think until episode 4. Doodles, my prediction of Vash's plant form. I hoped for wings. I didn't get the wings, but that's okay. We got the plant markings instead. But yeah, I'm a huge Trigon fan. I have read the manga. I reread the manga for Trigon Stampede, and I'm just having a hard time. I am just having a good time with it. This is the first time I'm doing so much fan art for something that I really, really enjoy. And it pushed me to do so many new things, like screenshot redraws or repaints, and just thank you, Trigon, for doing this to me. So here we have a little more loose doodle page where I went for a mix of Trimax and Tri-Stamp. So here we have the old Vash in his signature coat and the famous bisexual photograph Critter Vash over there, Meryl the cutest, my very first Vash Woods, and yeah, just a fun little exercise to get to know how to draw the characters. And here we have one of my favorite pages, and my very first Wolf Woods. I keep practicing him. I am more drawn to his original version, or the old version of Trimax, and then the Tri-Stamp version. But I just tried to capture him there. And yeah, on the right side you can see really one of my favorites. I did screenshot repaints with gouache of my favorite episode. It is episode 7, and my take on the plants. So I did a little fusion of the old plant design with the new Tri-Stamp plants, and I just really like wings. I just want the wings to be back there, and I kind of like them together with the plant markings. And yeah, it's a mixture out of colored pencils and of watercolor. I had to censor a little because it's a bit of body horror going on there, as per the originals. So yeah, this one is kind of a funky one because I first glued in all of the paper pieces you can see, and then I was at the maintenance waiting for my car to be done, and painted this Vash, or I doodled him. And I was stuck there for 4 hours, so I had plenty of time. And it's from my favorite arc. It's the rescue arc of Trimax, where Wolfwood saves Vash, and where Vash just... it's just my favorite scene of all time, when Vash says, "I don't care," and goes all Angel Eldritch. And yeah, a little modern alternate universe doodles. Here I met up with friends, and this is a page I did at a cafe. So we had little prompts, and which I doodled. I managed to doodle 3 of the prompts. A little ballpoint Vash I glued into the free space, and watercolor again, Vashwood. So here we have a illustration that took me a couple of days, if not a week. It's my Witcher universe take on Vash and knives. And I had really so much fun painting it and doing or just giving them wings again. And here my motivation lost me after that huge painting. So I did a little sketch doodle of my friend's fanfiction, but never finished it. It's the ketchup of Nicholas D. Wolfwood on AO3 from my friend Shark, and I really love it. So go check it out. A little shout out to my friend Shark here. And yeah, a little Vash. Not my favorite Vash, but it is what it is. It's a sketchbook. And we are going close to the last pages. So here we have angel designs that are plant inspired but more feral for my universe, for my Church Grim universe. So here we have Vash and Tesla. And here we have the last page where we have Wolfwood, and I actually colored it. And yeah, he's the Church Grim, and he's a graveyard keeper, and I am writing a fanfiction for it. So yeah, it's called The Unquiet Grave on AO3, and I'm just having fun with it. And here we have a little collaboration I did with my dear friend Henne. She did the lines, I did color it, and so I do not lose it. I glued it into the back of my sketchbook, so it will remain there, and that's it. Ah, my gosh, that was my whole sketchbook. 4 years of work, and thank you so much for tuning in. And just let me know if this is something I should do more often. And thank you for listening to my rambling. And I hope, that you enjoyed it. And have a good day. See you next time. Or see you around. And with this I say goodbye.